Welcome to this month's workshop. Today we are talking about strategy, budgeting, and basically how to plan for 2024, which everybody needs to do. And everybody will be a whole lot better off if they actually do, as opposed to just say that they did, right?
Yeah. I don't think they do this without planning.
Right. A lot of the resources that we're going to be sharing are either from our own business, things that we have used with clients, things that we've used in consulting and so on, or things that we got from Mickey. Did some courses together and worked on setting up some of his business processes and things like that. And so a lot of those we kind of worked on together since he was building a startup from scratch. So a lot of those tools and processes are going to be helpful for other people as well. Hey, Stella.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going. Long time no see.
Exactly. I know. It's so good to see you. So that's great. And anyway, I don't know if you are seeing a couple of documents in the chat that you can download. One is a calendar and one is a toolkit. So, those are the two things we're going to be talking about. One of the things that I think people don't use enough of when they're in the marketing lab are the workshops. There's a lot of stuff in here that is really, really helpful. And a lot of people are kind of reinventing the wheel when they don't have to, because there's a lot of stuff in here that is really helpful. So this month's workshop is kind of the one that we do at the end of every year, because it has a lot of the things that you're going to need for planning your next business year and so on. So strategy, planning, and budget workshop. And the two things that we're going to be talking about, sales toolkit. And as I was mentioning, this is something that Mickey and I kind of worked on together when he was putting his business together, his tutoring business. And we've adapted them to aviation companies so that they are really, really helpful. So the first page in here, and you can get there either through the workshop or through the links attached to this recording, will be your Aviation Sales Pro Toolkit. And of course, getting to the courses, there's a link to that. Canva, there's a link to that. Did you get into Canva, Stella? Did that work for you?
I just saw the invite. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. Yeah, Canva, I still am completely infatuated with, because I think it is an amazing tool. Circle, of course, there's a link to that. There's a link to Basecamp and so on. And for the people that are doing our sales training courses, there's kind of a outline of that. This toolkit was kind of invented for sales professionals that are either working on their own or working with a brokerage or something along those lines. So this basically gives you kind of the outline of the programs that we've got available. So, we've got a basics or fundamentals program. We've got a relationships program, a systems program, and pro coaching for sales professionals. So, and then we've got like all of the tools that you need to set up a business, because essentially if you are an independent salesperson that's earning a commission, or if you are an independent person with a company, you're going to need some of this stuff. And so we put together kind of a list of what would we want to have on day one if we were starting a company from scratch. So, how to create a business name, a product or service name. And I know, Stella, you've already gone through all of this stuff. How to create a Facebook business page, how to create a domain for your business, creating a Google Analytics account, setting up lead feeder for your website. ManyChat is a tool that some of the younger people love. It basically allows you to broadcast chat as a marketing tool. So we included that in here. Business Manager for Facebook, if you're doing Facebook advertising. How to create logos, branding colors, or build your brand. There's some neat resources for that. Fiverr.com, Coolers.com, or Coolers.co. That gives you a nice color palette. Canva, of course, has some fabulous tools in it as well. How to build your website. We highly recommend that you go through ABCI. But if you're going to do it yourself, there's some resources for that as well. Calendly or time trade. I love this because nowadays, if you're doing business in any kind of a service industry, you kind of need to set up appointments with people, and then you're going back and forth. You lose a lot of people in the process of not being able to set that up and so on. So, Calendly or time trade, we use Calendly. Time trade is great for individuals that don't have a team. How to collect money, that's kind of important. Stripe or PayPal, how to do surveys, Woofu or Alchemer. Zapier is a great way to connect things together. Vimeo or YouTube is a great way to host video. MailChimp or Constant Contact. So, all of these are just kind of what do you do when you're first setting up your business? We wanted to have all those resources available. And if it's the start of the year and you're missing a tool, it's a great place to go for that. In this spreadsheet, we've also got setting up your vision, designing your company. Who do you want to help? What do you want to help them with? Top 10 list of your first customers that you want to connect with. Business metrics. This is great for calculating return on investment and so on. I left some numbers in here just so that people can see how it works if they want to use this. A client tracking worksheet, monthly metrics worksheet, daily habits worksheet, processes. You can, especially if you're working with a team, I'm actually going to be using this more this year, where we're setting up how to publish each piece of content using Meet Edgar is the tool that we use, creating a small video to set that up and then saving that file so that you can just share that with your team. This is how we get things done, all of the different tasks that we use in our company. And this is all about setting up systems so that you're able to scale your business and so that you're not going crazy all the time. And then also a content machine, here are some ideas for building content and where are you going to publish that content. And then, this is our holding pattern. This is what we want to include in a holding pattern. So that's all in, a really quick whirlwind tour of a spreadsheet that we have. It's called the toolkit. And we highly recommend it for our clients to kind of help them stay grounded and also help them find things so that, in our office hours and things like that, we're working on what you want to work on. And, you're not struggling with the basics of, setting up your business and how to get from here to there, if that makes sense. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Fantastic. Great. So yeah, the intention of all of these tools, Canva included, is to make things easier, and I'd love to have your thoughts on anything you think should be added to the toolbox for clients, free tools or otherwise, and, just things that we recommend, especially if a team member has used them. Because everybody's always looking for solutions. And, it's part of the joy of networking is that we get to share our spreadsheets, we get to share our tools, we get to share other things that have worked for us.
I use Zoom a lot, of course.
Yeah.
I use Calendly to, set up appointments with people wanting to, either become a travel agent or to chat with me about their vacation plans and whatnot. I use Google Docs a lot.
Yeah.
For most of my docs.
Mm-hmm.
I use Groove for my website and for blog and for design more than I use anything else.
Okay.
I do have a premium lifetime membership to that.
Yeah.
So I would see different than others do, but that is also available as a free option to design your website or attach a blog or what is. I have to stop and think, what's the difference between the free and the pro?
Right. Exactly.
They do have a free version of groove.cm that anyone can use to build a website, to have a cart, to Oh, what all is in that?
Yeah,
Because I don't use all of it.
understood. I know. I just think it's crazy to be spending money on things that we're
They're
not
free.
using. Well,
Yeah.
or that you're not using to the full extent of what you could be. And so, part of the thing with the marketing lab is use this stuff, use the spreadsheets, use the tools, use everything, that you can and, make it all work. So
Right.
you've
So
got,
so Groove
yeah.
offers a website,
Mhm.
funnel building, selling, mail, member, video, Groove blog, Groove cart, and
Mhm.
even Groove webinar.
Ah,
And there
cool.
are free um pieces to each one of those.
Okay. That
Yeah.
is cool. Another one that I think we're going to be using more is the signnow.com. That's a digital signature kind of a thing for agreements and so on. So, all of those are very helpful for just running a business and, you get that
Mhm.
out of the way and then you can focus on your marketing. So,
Right. I have an Adobe signature that I use for
mhm,
signing documents and whatnot.
mhm,
It's Adobe, so I don't always like it, or it doesn't always like me. I don't know
mhm.
which.
Right. Understood. Understood. Okay, so that's the toolkit. And the other thing I wanted to cover, in this webinar basically is the calendar. And this is basically, and I know you probably will have some thoughts on how to do this, but since it's the beginning of the year, it's a great time to be planning your content. And of course, it's really nice to be sitting here
Mhm.
with the content folks, talking about content. So yeah, the basic gist of what we're trying to do with content is to create content that starts a relationship that results in a sale. We're
Mhm.
not creating content for its own sake. This is not Shakespeare. This is not art. It is very much intentional. With the intention of creating a relationship and then going to a sale. And I think what a lot of people do is they skip this middle step, and they think that content should sell directly,
Mhm.
and that creates terrible content.
It usually does, exactly. And if you plan out a calendar, you can
Hmm.
either have a theme for the year,
Hmm.
that you're going to just follow this whole same theme all year, but then each month hit a different piece of that. Or
Hmm.
you can even do it, monthly or quarterly
Hmm.
and change your theme. So, January through March, you focus on one aspect of your business and all your blogs and content goes around that. And
Hmm.
then, April through June, you have another aspect of
Right.
your business. You can change it up so you can make it as intense or not intense as you want it to be.
Right. And this is kind of an evergreen, you can tell from the 2015 date on here. This is a campaign that still works, where you have big pieces and smaller pieces. This is built around HAI, which is the Helicopter Association International event, which is a big aviation event that we did for a client at one time. And, basically it's talking low to high expense on these. Going to the event is a very high expense activity. So you want to put as many of these lower expense activities in there as you can. So based on this one activity, you can have a landing page for scheduling appointments with you at the event. You can do a phone call afterwards, which has a high expense because it's personnel cost. And then you can do printed newsletters, invitations, thank yous, promo emails, informational emails, all kinds of things in the process of before, during, and after the event, long after the event, from people that you collect their contact information and so on. So that is kind of a structure of a campaign and how you want to do that. So there's pros and cons of each type of media, and people say, oh well, my favorite is Facebook, and I'm not going to use anything else, or my favorite is TikTok, and we're not going to send emails, or we're not going to do printed mails or anything else. The problem with that is that there is not a single media that doesn't have a downside. And Stella, I know, and John, I know you have some pretty strong opinions about some media, but you want to use some low expense, some high expense, some that are good for being super targeted or super measurable, some that target the people that you're looking for, some that maybe not so much, some that can be virally spread or shared, some not so much. But the ideal media does not exist. If that's
Right.
my contention. I think every one of them has downsides of some sort or another.
Well, and a big one right now, some people are really keen on TikTok,
Mhm,
others are very against it.
mhm,
Then in the middle, you have all of the potential government interference.
mhm,
Oh, TikTok's from China. We don't trust it. We're going to block TikTok, countrywide or within our state or, even just within governments. So there's like some, you know, local governments that have said, employees, you may not have TikTok on your phones.
yeah,
So that one, has potential if you invest all your dollars into TikTok and the state or the feds or whatever come in and say, we're blocking TikTok. There goes
mhm,
all your marketing on that one social media.
yeah. So
And
having
you don't own that content. Really.
right,
TikTok does.
right. So we've always harped on the fact that it's so important to have a diversity of media for that reason and for others, and just so that you're covering the downsides of any of them. Um, all right, and then a lot of people will say, "Well, I tried this and it didn't work," for whatever reason. The most common reason that it didn't work is because they didn't follow through. Either they didn't do a full 90-day thought out campaign, they just kind of haphazardly did what we call random acts of marketing, or they tried it once with a thorough campaign, but um, it didn't work for whatever reason because they didn't have enough follow through in their campaign.
That or it's not a media that their audience uses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're putting everything into X and none of your readers, your clients use Twitter or X,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter what you do for marketing, it's going to fail.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, the primary thing with all of this is that list, offer, presentation. And we go through that in many of our other workshops. If you've got the wrong list, you got the wrong offer, or you got the wrong presentation, it's not going to work. So
Mm-hmm.
right. And then, of course, you had talked about having a theme for the year. Let me jump ahead to that. Um, so we'll do that. This is our themes for next year. Basically, January we're doing email campaigns, February prospecting, March holding patterns, April resales and recaptures. So since we market marketing services, it's kind of meta. This is what we're marketing during these months. These are the types of services that we're marketing during these months. And we're going to have a workshop about each of these topics during those months. And we're going to focus our marketing around those workshops. So we'll build campaigns and do what we say we do, which we haven't been doing as much as we should because we've got this cobbler shoe syndrome going on. But we absolutely do believe in what we say, so we will do it. Um, the
So
other
one
thing,
thing I
yeah,
would add to that, Paula, is, for each month, you send out weekly emails on Mondays and Wednesdays.
mm-hmm,
On one of those, I would have a short article or section, whatever you want to call it, targeting that topic every week for that month.
mm-hmm,
So, like January, make sure you include some kind of either article or information section about email campaigns. And then in February, you would do it with prospecting. In March, do it with holding patterns. And so you're kind of bridging between your workshop, your topic idea, theme, and the newsletter.
yeah, exactly. That's the intention, and I'm glad you're seeing where we're going with that. So that's a good thing. And that's the intention. And if each of our clients follows this along, especially when they go to 12 different workshops during the year, they're going to get really, really good at 12 different aspects of marketing. And, their business is going to really profit from that increase in skill over time. So, that really is the intention as well, is to help our clients get better at their marketing and to make that work better.
And when you have a rich calendar and you decide to go on vacation or somebody gets sick or whatever, you have this huge library that you can pull back in easily and not have gaps.
Exactly. We've been doing this for, how long have we been doing this, John?
Years.
Right.
Yeah, it's been 18 years.
All right. So some of our content is 18 years old and some of it is still evergreen and still works. And, we can pull up our best article on this topic from X number of years ago. If it's, dust it off and maybe make some changes, make sure that it's still relevant and go with that. So yeah, for your company, whatever it is, and Stella, for your travel organization, you probably have a similar thing where you're doing maybe a destination a month or, a different aspect of your business each month. So, okay. So I'm kind of skipping around, but, you kind of segued into that. So it was a nice way to do that. This is, of course, a more built out marketing campaign that, and this is actually a marketing system that is evergreen, that basically relies on new content all the time. So, if you're putting new content on your website and in social media and on your podcast, as an example, then you've got materials that will fuel a system like this, where people are basically coming into contact with you. Maybe they're downloading a tip sheet or an ebook or attending a webinar, whatever your call to action is for that content. If they are highly qualified, we send them an information package in the mail. So, especially if they're in the United States, that's really easy to do. If maybe they're not quite so qualified, we either send them a personalized note card via mail, or if they're somewhere that doesn't get mail very easily, then we'll do a digital communication of them with them of some kind, inviting them to an intro call. And then, of course, we go to phase 2. This is what we call our holding pattern: emails, printed newsletters, direct mail, social media connections, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, as a result of that, we either get a sales call where they call us, or we periodically call them and make a pitch for a product or service and see if we can do business together. And then once you've made the sale, then of course you've got an onboarding process. We send a welcome package, customer satisfaction survey, and of course we've just added to that a case study when they've been with us for a year, so that we've got that onboarding activity that spans a certain amount of time. Great. So all of this really feeds into planning for the year. And, if you can build any parts of this, it's not going to be built overnight, but if you can plan for the year and say, okay, so January, we're going to do email campaigns, get really good at those. And then in February, we're going to get really good at prospecting. And then this part of our system gets built during February. In March, we're going to do holding patterns. So this part of our system gets built during March. April, resales, recaptures, we add a referral campaign, something like that in here. So, Rome wasn't built in a day, and no company is going to have a fabulous system for sales and marketing overnight. But the more of this you can build and automate using those tools that we talked about in the toolkit, the easier and more automated this becomes, and the more effective it becomes over time. And, since that's what we do and that's what's made us successful, we promote that to client companies as well.
And having this step also helps build your SEO, just because you can have internal links and backlinks to other articles or other company services that are kind of related or supporting to your business. So it also helps just in your SEO ranking.
Yeah. I was really impressed with Tom Lelio. He kind of, he scheduled an appointment with us during NBAA. So, he used a trade show to schedule a podcast interview, right? Which he used on social media, which he also used as search engine material on his website. So, all of that feeds into each other. We could actually make that one big arrow, I suppose, and just say this is prospecting. This is content building for the purpose of prospecting. But it also can be used later on in this. He may also mention that in a newsletter or in a social media connection or an email that he's using in his holding pattern for people who haven't decided whether or not they want to do business with him yet. Every little piece of information is sometimes just what people were looking for in order to decide to do business with you.
Right. Well, and some people only do one or two of those blue arrows. They don't think about, how do all four of these or more interact and how do they support each other?
Yeah.
They think, oh, just the website. That's all I need. I don't need social media. I don't need a podcast. I don't need trade shows, and how doing a spectrum of those things gives you a stronger presence and a stronger position in the market.
Exactly. I mean, if there's any one of these that I will say no to, I won't do cold calls, because I have enough lines in the water. If you think about this as fishing, if you're a hobbyist, you're only going to use one fishing pole, and you're going to have one lure with one type of bait, and you're going to throw it out there, and it's going to work or it's not, and you're going to be happy with that because it's a hobby. But if you are in a business, if you look at those commercial fishing vessels, even if they are doing line fishing still, they're putting lines out there, they will have multiple poles.
Yeah.
You probably have seen this close to where you are. Maybe I don't know if they do the line fishing and from your city, but
no, I'm in the center of the country.
Oh, that's right.
Mexico doesn't have a lot of central fishing things, but you get out to the beaches and you will see the fishermen that have, they either have the net and they've got like one net for each side of the boat. So they may have four nets out there. Or they'll have, 10, 20, 30 poles off the side waiting for fish to nibble, and heaven forbid all 30 go at the same time.
Yeah. And they have bells on them, so they can tell this was going on, this was going on. That's that's your tip sheet or your ebook. That's ringing the bell, saying I'm here. Reel me in, so that's kind of a neat analogy. And you can never have too many hooks in the water as long as you can manage them appropriately. And as long as, like you said, they're not going to all go off at the same time. Or even if they do, it's kind of a good problem to have.
Well, that's where you maybe look at adding some staff,
right?
Expanding your horizons if it gets that busy.
Absolutely, scaling your business. So that this is a good problem to have. Great. So that's really the intention. I think is for the year is to look at where you are now. Maybe draw the diagram of where you are now. Draw the diagram of where you want to be at the end of 2024, and then December of 2024, we're going to do the same workshop and, see where people are, see where they want to be, see what is missing, and see how we can help fill in some of those gaps and add some tools and make it easier, make it more automated, make it more effective.